Teachavision is brought to you by
Hi, this is Maureen from InsightAble Puzzles. Puzzles designed with the blind in mind. Raised lines, shapes, textures, and sometimes braille can be used as clues to piece together a tactile jigsaw puzzle, born of your patience and persistence. Whether you're a new or a seasoned puzzler, there is a puzzle that's just right for you. Explore my website, InsightAblePuzzles.com. That's InsightAble, and discover the fun of completing a puzzle by touch alone.
The opinions expressed on Teachavision are solely those of the guests and hosts and do not represent other companies or third parties. Thank you for listening.
Hello and welcome to Teachavision, a podcast by Screenless allies, where everyone has a different vision of learning. And now, here's your host, Jose Briceño.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for listening to this episode of Teachavision number 47. Man, it's crazy that we are almost to 50, our half-life. No, but in all seriousness, thank you for listening, and we hope that you enjoyed this episode. Before we continue, we just want to say thank you to those that listened to the last bonus, the Christmas special of this year, where we answered the question, what does Christmas mean to you? Everyone had different opinions, and we hope that for those that did not listen, go back and listen to that episode, because it's definitely the first time we ever did something like this, where we asked a question and we had some friends answer it. We might do more of these, but we might actually do it with you, the listener. So stay tuned. Also, I want to take a moment and wish you a happy new year, which will be coming up on Wednesday, as of this recording, January the 1st. Because there's no episodes during the weekdays, we want to take a second and say Happy New Year. We hope that 2025 brings you nothing but the best. Now that being said, let's start the episode, continuing the interview with Miss Maureen Handwerker from InsightAblePuzzles.com. And on this episode, we're going to talk about what she has in her inventory, what all designs does she have, and how do they all work. Also, a disclaimer for magnets and giraffes. All that and more right here on Teachavision by Screenless Allies. Now that you got a table, now that you had more puzzles to work with, what was the ultimate opinion of the majority of the people that got to go see this?
I would say it was pretty positive. It surprised me again that some people sat there for over an hour and they would finish one and they would say, give me another one. So just like any community, you're going to have some people who just love puzzles. There were some people who were fine with just doing one and they were done. And that's fine too. What was nice about going to the conference and having the opportunity to be in the art room and having a table set up was, it wasn't just the blind people that I was able to get the puzzles in front of, but also they did have, teachers who work with blind students who were also able to come and play with the puzzles as well and see how maybe their students would enjoy something like that. In addition to that, there were also parents of blind children, or even vice versa, where the parent was blind and they had a sighted child and they would sit at the table and they enjoyed doing it with their child. So there was one instance I know for sure, there's a woman who had her son on her lap, and she said that her son loves to do puzzles, but he's sighted and she's not. And so she said, this is nice because it was actually a puzzle then that they could do together. And she appreciated it for that. So it was just different audiences. It wasn't the same audience as I was getting at Colorado Center for the Blind up to that point.
Right. You branched out when you went to Orlando. Do you plan to do any more branching out apart from these two places?
Well, I kept in touch with Colorado Center for the Blind, and I am excited to just see what other opportunities that maybe I could work with them on for different projects, or I don't know. I'm just open to seeing where this takes me. For the short term, I love the idea that I now have a connection with NFB, and I would love to go back again next summer. I still feel like the puzzles thing is still so new to me. I just launched my website and I'm just starting now to sell my puzzles, and I have so many more ideas of what I want to design and just kind of grow in this area initially.
Right.
First, before I kind of branch out.
Right. We'll get to the future in a little bit about your designs here. If you could give us a couple of spoilers, you don't have to give us all of them, but we'll get there. So let's get to the nitty-gritty here on the puzzles, Miss Maureen. So, can you describe to me your types of puzzles that you carry? From easy to expert, kind of rundown of what you got.
Okay, so I really have 3 different areas of puzzles. I have what I call the shape puzzle. Typically, a sighted person would do a puzzle with straight edges along all 4 sides. And my shape puzzles are not straight edges. So, for example, I have a dog, I have a bunny, I have a Jeep. The edges of it are curved. They do have some straight lines, but for the most part, it's all curved. And it's more in the shape of the 3D object that I'm trying to represent in a 2D manner. That's what I call the shape puzzle. And then I have a layered puzzle. These, so far anyway, are squarish puzzles. So they do have the straight edges. I have like a base layer that you would first put together. And then on the tops of those are indentations so that I have additional pieces that you would then put on top of the base layer, just to add more dimension to the puzzle. And so it's kind of like a puzzle on top of a puzzle.
Gotcha. And for that, I have a balloon. That's one I have here. A hot air balloon, right. I believe.
Yeah.
That's what you said it was.
Yep. Yeah, that's the hot air balloon that's over the mountain range.
And I do have that. And that was pretty interesting when I got to open it because I didn't get to put it together at Orlando. But when I saw that, I was like, whoa, how are you able to put 2 things like that at once? That's actually pretty impressive with the magnets and things like that. That was actually very impressive.
Good. And then my third category is what I call the challenge puzzles. And it's taking my other puzzles and just making the pieces smaller and more of them. Yes. For the person who's just ready for that next level of challenge.
And I have one. And I have a Jeep as the challenge puzzle. And you'll be happy to know, Miss Maureen, that I was able to finally put it together.
Yay.
It took me like 3 weeks, but I got it.
Great.
During my, it's funny, during my job, where was I doing? I was eating lunch. And while I was eating lunch, I was putting this puzzle together. And it was like, what are you doing putting that puzzle together? You've been at it for like a week. And I'm like, I'm trying to put this together. I gotta figure this out. It's my goal in life. It's the last thing I do.
So were you using the template with it?
No.
No,
I was thinking on the table. Yeah, no,
wow, that's hardcore.
I spaced it out. I'm like, nope, I can do this. Because I put the Jeep together a few times. I knew how to do the original with a template without the magnetic frame. So I was like, you know what? We're going to go hardcore. We're going to do it on the table. Because that's how...
It's hardcore.
That's how jigsaw puzzles are. Because they're made out of cardboard. And there's no frame. There's no base on it. It's you put it on the table. And then you put the pieces together. And then find out that the picture's completely wrong. But the pieces are put together. So...
Right.
Why is this animal with the head backwards and the paws on the right side? And oh, well, my eyes aren't functional. Okay, that's why. So there's that. Let's just move right along and let's act like this puzzle was the best masterpiece ever. But with the tactile ones, I was able to figure out, okay, well, the wheels, there's the wheels. They're not going to go on the side. They're going to go on the bottom. It's things like that I found very interesting when putting these together. I have no regrets getting these or going to your table and putting them together. You taught me something new. And now anytime I can or anytime I'm in a situation where I need something to keep me busy, I just grab a puzzle and just put it together because it's just so entertaining and it's so much fun.
Looking for some basic tips on how to use both assistive and mainstream technology in general? Check out the Teachability section on our website.
You said you had the dog, you had the Jeep, you had the bunny. What else do you have?
Oh, that's it for my shape puzzles, although all 3 of those are also offered in the challenge model as well. And then for my layered puzzles, I just designed recently a butterfly one. So it has a quote along the top in Braille, and then I have a butterfly. And then I have the hot air balloon one, which is what you have. So it's 2 hot air balloons over a mountain range. I have the bird one, where it's more of a close-up bird flying, and then 2 smaller birds in the background. And then that one also has a Braille quote at the top. And then I have one where a picture of a man pushing a big boulder up a hill, and then with a quote from Albert Einstein on the top of that one. And... is that it? So I think I have 4 layer puzzles. And then I have the 3 shape puzzles currently.
Gotcha. And the shapes also come in challenge mode too.
Yes, as does the butterfly.
The butterfly also comes in a challenge one, huh? Okay.
Yes, and I do want to get challenge ones also made for the others as well.
Gotcha. Okay. That definitely makes sense. See, that would be interesting, trying to get all the challenge ones and then having people try to put these tiny ones together. Forget the easy, nope, we're going to go straight on hardcore, no base, nothing. Put it on a table, just do it that way. What are the costs at the moment that you're selling these puzzles for?
Currently, I have the shape puzzles going for $15. I have the layered puzzles going for $25. Those are also being sold as kits. So it's not just the jigsaw puzzle pieces, but it's also the template, which is a solid piece of the finished puzzle. That's kind of the sighted person's version of having a picture of what the puzzle is going to look like when it's finished. And then I have the magnetic base. Well, it's not really a magnetic base. It's a base with a raised frame along the edges that you could fit your pieces inside of. And the pieces in the kit for the easier ones, I do have magnets on the bottom side of the pieces so that when you put it in the frame on top of the base, it will kind of click in place. And that's also kind of gives you a sense of whether or not that piece is in the right position. Again, just trying to make it a little bit easier for those who may need that extra help.
Now, you said magnets, and I noticed on your site that there's a disclaimer that you have on there that says to be careful with dogs with magnets.
Yeah.
What is that all about here?
Oh, well, you don't want to be swallowing magnets. They're pretty tiny magnets. And so I have them on the underside of the pieces as well as then on the top part of the base so that when you put the piece in correctly, it kind of gives a satisfying sort of click to it. But if a piece were to fall on the floor and if you had a pet dog or some other creature that likes to chew things that fall on the floor, you wouldn't want them swallowing magnets. If you have a dog that loves to chew things as soon as it hits the floor, then reach out to me and I would put together a puzzle for you without magnets.
Got it.
Just so that you don't have to worry about that.
Don't feed your guide dog magnets, okay?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah.
Dogs don't eat magnets. That hasn't been a thing yet. I don't think it'll ever be. So don't give your dog or any pet magnets. We don't advocate giving magnets to pets. A little side note, real quick. This recording was done in October of 2024, and ever since, there have been new designs added to Maureen's collection. There's the horse puzzle and the emoji puzzle. We discussed the emoji puzzle a couple of episodes ago, but we hope you can go check those new designs out and let her know what you think.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Teachavision. If you enjoyed the episode, make sure to check out previous shows, which are equally informative and fun as this one. Make sure to also check out our website at screenlessallies.com. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/ScreenlessAlliesOfficial. Do you have any suggestions or comments? Why not email us, info@screenlessallies.com. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next time.